What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again. And we got a special guest tonight, my man Ansem from BLG, aka the Bootleg Gang, who you do a lot of polls, right? A lot of polls comparing hip hop debates and hip hop battles, right, Ansem?
Yeah, that's right. www.youtube.com followed by the @ BLG, aka Bootleg Gang. Pretty much BLG stands for Bootleg Gang. It was all started by what people was doing verses online for fun, but I was part of a group called 750 where we stayed doing verses battles. But me and someone else took it a little more serious. We took it beyond Facebook.
Yeah.
To the point where I created a YouTube page. And now I have a Facebook page where I pretty much made polls of like every battle that was done through me or my boy D Double, aka DeAndre Davis. That name might have sounded familiar to some of y'all. Those who don't know a hip hop roundtable, I'm Lance Rance, Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's right.
All other places too. But yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Welcome. And we've had plenty of debates on the round table for a long time, definitely. And it's glad to meet you, digitally in person. Digital meeting first time. Hopefully not the last time, because we get in some spirited debates over in Hip Hop Roundtable reviews on our Facebook channel. If you look us up, Hip Hop Roundtable Review on Facebook. So, Ansem, tonight.
One more thing before you go any further, I want to give a shout out to Shadow Code Radio because I did do a couple episodes with you.
That's
Maurice.
True.
Shout out to Maurice. But yeah, my bad.
True, man. The Shadow Code Radio days not too long ago, and definitely we're gonna have Reese on again. Trust me, we're gonna meet up again. We're gonna get this roundtable going. Reese right now is out of the country right now, but when he comes back, we definitely gonna come back and have more, definitely more debates, like we did on Shadow Code Radio. So tonight, Ansem, we're gonna talk about some comments that came down from Juvenile about a week ago or so. So Juvenile was on a radio station. I don't know, a radio station or blog or podcast or something. Basically saying that 400 Degreez, his debut album, should get the recognition that a lot of the East Coast classics, the Reasonable Doubts, the It Was Written, the Illmatics get, you know what I mean? And he kind of called East Coast bias. He kind of called it out because his album, 400 Degreez, sold 4 million records, and it outsold Nas's highest selling record, It Was Written, 3 million records, and also competed with Jay-Z's highest selling record, which I think Jay-Z sold 6 million twice or something like that, and called out Reasonable Doubt, number of albums. So that created a little bit of a controversy, a little bit of a web debate. Like, now hold on now, like, does 400 Degreez get slighted as a classic? And you and I had a little back and forth and debate on Hip Hop Roundtable, but I just got to ask you off top before we get to it, what did you think about those comments off the top from Juvenile? And was there any merit to that?
Now, one thing we do need to clarify, he actually said that even though he used sales as one of his reasons for 400 Degreez, he actually said 400 Degreez can compete with Jay-Z's best album and Nas' best album. He didn't necessarily say best selling. Yeah. That's why Reasonable Doubt and Illmatic has been brought up. Now, one thing I did tell you, which I'll tell everyone out there, I actually compare 400 Degreez more towards the it's dark and hell is hot, Capital Punishment. You could kind of compare it.
I agree.
To like Only Built for Cuban Links. I specifically said that album because to me, Only Built for Cuban Links stood out more than just Raekwon. And on this album, it wasn't just Juvenile. It also introduced the Hot Boys and Big Times for those who weren't familiar with those two.
True.
So to me, 400 Degreez actually stood out more than Juvenile.
Yeah. I agree with that. And if you think about it, that was I think Darkest Hell is Hot is a very good comparison because they came out like literally the same year. Like X came out, I believe, in the springtime of '98. Juvie came out, I believe, like the fall towards the end of '98, and they kind of had different waves. They kind of started new movements at the new time. I think that's an excellent comparison, actually.
Really, you can
Even
say
though
DMX's first two albums, really, not even just the first album.
that's true, because DMX did come out, I think, twice in '98. Right? Yeah, it came out twice. Yeah, because Flesh of My Flesh came out like the last week of '98, if I'm not mistaken. Because we're going back 25 years now. But anyway, I do like that comparison. But it's interesting. Instead of that comparison, which is more of a even matchup, he goes right for Nas and Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Which kind of like took me by surprise, and I was like, wow, he really went there. And I actually like did a video on this, and I said at first that is a bit of a reach on his part. But I'm gonna be objective here. I went back, I listened to 400 Degreez because I haven't heard it in like 20 odd years. And I gotta admit, that is a down south classic. That's undisputed. It is a classic record. It's got a southern vibe to it. I don't think Juvie has the same flow on any song. He has a different flow on every single song, which for that time was different. You know what I mean? So I got to give him some creative points for that. But here's what we're going to do. Since he called out Nas's best album, Jay-Z's best album, we're going to do this because Nas's best-selling album It Was Written at 3 million. And it's arguably Nas's best album because they do debate It Was Written versus Illmatic as being the best. I know I put up Illmatic in my first video. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this objectively. We're going to walk through 400 Degreez versus It Was Written. And we're going to do it point for point. We're going to look at cultural impact. We're going to look at overall album artistry. And we're going to look at overall song quality from both artists to really see what was the better classic. You know what I mean? And we're going to look at record sales too. We're going to have it all in there. So we're going to make this a very fair debate here. This is what I want to do. And, definitely in the comments, definitely give me your opinion as Ansem and I walk through this as to really determine what was the best album out of that. Does Juvenile have a point? Is it a lot closer than you think? Is it East Coast bias, maybe? So I'm going to start it off, Ansem. So It Was Written 400 Degreez. Cultural impact. Which album you think had the biggest impact overall on the hip hop culture?
We need to debate this before I can come to a final decision because the impacts are two totally different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with It Was Written.
Yeah.
Now, It Was Written is the album after, arguably, the greatest hip hop album ever.
That's true.
So to a lot of people, the album was a step down by default because it didn't have the same producers as the first one.
That's right.
In addition, there's a video of me and Darius Sanders. He talked about how he didn't like It Was Written, and in back in the days, a lot of people was calling it whack. And there were some calling it whack in comparison to the first one, but it was still impactful because one, it sold more than the first one. And two, it aged better as time goes on.
That's true.
And you see that a lot of Nas albums after Illmatic, just because like at the time people wanted Illmatic, but they didn't get Illmatic. But as time goes on, you start to like the album more. Now, does that kind of give the credit more to Illmatic or the more the credit that It Was Written because it aged better? That's debatable. Now, compare that to 400 Degreez, it hit. Everywhere down south, that song hit. High hit. Before we even get to back that ass up, High hit.
Yes. Speak on that. Yep.
To me, High is one of, and even though I'm from the South, most people see me more as an underground hip hop fan than a Southern hip hop fan, but I'm
Yeah.
all about originality at the end of the day. High is one of my favorite down south beats ever because I never heard a beat sound like that.
Got you.
Like that's on some new shit. Only setback is it may have been the best beat on the album, but still, the impact wise, it opened the doors to like a certain style that other coast was not listening to or didn't respect until
Mm-hmm.
the Hot Boys did it. They weren't necessarily the first. Of course, you got the No Limit era, you got Dungeon Family, you got those in Texas, you got others in Louisiana like Mystical, you got Tennessee, but the Hot Boys, because they're on 400 Degreez, it hit to the point to where all styles like that type of thing. Like it instantly hit. It didn't. You had to listen to it for a while. Like it instantly hit. No matter what type of hip hop fan you were, you either really liked that album or you didn't like that album so much you had to
True.
talk. Give me a thought.
Yeah. So I put it to you like this. This is a difficult debate because I think both, as far as the culture is concerned, they both hit the culture hard. You know, I think back to your "it was written" point. I think Nas. I think this. It's kind of weird for me to say this, but in a way, "It Was Written" was a harder album to have impact on because of living up to Illmatic. This was a sophomore release. And to take it back to what "It Was Written" really was, because you mentioned at first, at the very beginning, people kind of didn't know what to do with "It Was Written." And it was because of it living up to Illmatic, you know, which was very hard to do. You know, so people didn't know what to do with it because it was a new production style. It was more radio friendly for Nas. It was more of a complete overall album. You know what I mean? Compared to Illmatic, which was a street boom bap album. You know what I mean? So Nas kind of changed the style a lot. However, you see, it it was written at that time may have been a little bit more impactful just because of the timeline. Let's go back and go on what was going on here at that time. Right now, at that time, 1996, Tupac was killing it. Tupac was owning music, period. You know, everything Tupac was doing was white hot. And
And
he
this is
was
the thing
killing
that
Nas.
the message was that this to Tupac also.
That's right. That's right. So the thing about it was Nas went number one in the era of Tupac and Biggie. Went right to number one, where I don't think Illmatic ever went number one commercially. It was a modest commercial album. It wasn't that big. Went right to number one and instantly hit the radio. I remember hearing Nas songs, "If I Rule the World," on pop stations at the time when I was a teenager. I was like, wow, this is big now. You know, in the era of Tupac and Biggie, you know, where he had to go up against, and he was directly going back and forth with Tupac. You know what I mean? Now, the thing about it is I think overall in hip hop history, I think, and like you said, like "It Was Written" aged more. You know, it aged better. I think it had a bigger impact on hip hop history, but I think for the region, I think Juvenile's 400 Degreez was more impactful because it kind of, even though it didn't put Louisiana on the map, it kind of gave Louisiana a different sound at the time and blew up the Hot Boys to make them mainstream.
Because when you think of Louisiana, you're thinking either No Limit or Mystical at that time.
That's true.
So now you got a third option.
That's right.
Cash Money.
That's right. That's right. Um, so I definitely gotta say, like, they kind of wash each other out as far as the artist versus impact on hip hop history. Now, Billboard and record sales. Juvenile mentioned that it sold 4 million records and his highest selling record. But what on the other side he didn't mention is that 400 Degreez only went to number 9 on the Billboard charts, and Nas's album debuted at number 1. He almost sold 300,000 copies in 1996 in the first week. So I don't know. That was a more magnitude of an impact, given he was in the East Coast going up against Biggie and Wu and all the hot artists at that time. So even though he said it sold 4 million, which that 4 million kind of grew over time. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those albums that over time, 400 Degreez got more respect as it went along, where It Was Written was that album, you know, right from the beginning as far as commercially. And I remember hearing those songs even on pop stations. So I don't know. I think commercially, I don't know. It Was Written has an argument, even though it sold 4 million versus 3 million, but that's kind of almost the same to me. You know, it's not like he sold like 10 million. Juvenile sold 10 million versus 3 million. You know what I mean?
Now, impact is more than sales, though. You also got to think about what it influenced. Like 400 Degreez, not Juvenile. And we talked about this the other day. 400 Degreez is so big that Nas sampled Juvenile.
Okay.
The
Okay.
40 side. I forgot which song it was, but it was 40 side. He quoted Juvenile bar at the end of the song, I think.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And that was
a lot of people, especially after 2010, have sampled Rich Niggas, Juvenile on Fire.
Yeah.
Back that ass up. I mean, Kanye and Drake both sampled.
Yeah, and you mentioned I think Eminem sampled Juvenile too on his latest.
Yeah, one of those songs he sampled the and High in one of those beats. I found
That's
that
right.
out.
That's right. That's right. Which is kind of weird. Well, I'll get to features later, but Jay-Z is on 400 Degreez. That's the weirdest thing. Like Jay-Z's on there on a remix. You know what I mean?
There's 2 remixes.
Yeah.
How many albums you know have more than one remix?
Yeah, he had 2 remixes of the same song on it, but that goes to show how hot that song was. So all right. So cultural impact. Where do you got? You got 400 Degreez. It Was Written.
I really want to say 400 Degreez, but I've seen people get in fights over It Was Written. I got my shit stolen over It Was Written.
So you're going 400 Degreez. You got to think about it.
Yeah, I'll say 400.
All right, well, think about it for a minute. We'll go on to the next topic. Album overall artistry. What was the better artistic product?
It Was Written was still different.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the stuff that was talked about on 400 Degreez. You know, you've heard it before from the artists down here. Not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but It Was Written was different. You said it yourself. If 2 songs were on It Was Written, it may be better than Illmatic.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. People talk about it today, you know, as it being better than Illmatic. And I had to fight that for a while, but now I actually hear it. You know, I actually hear It Was Written. I can see what people say now, you know. But artistically, I mean, lyrically, Nas is just in his bag on there. The flows were smooth. It was like H2O. It was like ice water coming out his mouth, literally. I mean, as far as a track for track play, I definitely have to go with It Was Written over 400 Degreez. Even though when I went back to 400 Degreez, I gotta say that the vibe of the album was real smooth. It really had that good, it made you feel like you were down in New Orleans at that time period. You know, the vibe was really smooth. But as far as production, where would you rank the two? Now, mind you, Nas had DJ Premier, LES, Dr. Dre. He had a lot of 90s heavy hitters on there. And of course, Juvenile had Manny Fresh. Where would you go on production?
People say may still be the best Cash Money album production-wise.
That's right.
But thankfully, it was written had Primo. Going back to artistry, talking about yourself as a gun. Similar to how Common did as a female. MC Shan did. I forgot the name of that song he did where he used metaphors, a metaphor for cocaine. I forgot the name of that song.
Not Black Girl Lost. Hold on a minute. I got the track list right here.
No,
was it Take It in Blood?
No, I Gave You Power.
Gave You Power. That was the gun.
Yeah,
that was a gun song.
But yeah, of course you got Black Girl Lost also.
Yeah, Black Girl Lost, Shootouts. I mean, track for track. I mean, and it finished with If I Rule the World, you know. Not to mention, well, I'm gonna get to the features in a minute because there's so much to talk about these albums, you know. But album artistry, I think we gotta go with It Was Written. Definitely, we gotta agree on that one. It's album artistry, It Was Written. Now, overall song quality. This is now. I just want to go and point some things out because let's start with like the hit records. Now I know what you're gonna say. You already mentioned High. You already mentioned the impact that had. I actually go Back That Ass Up because Back That Ass Up, just in my opinion, I think was a little bit more of an impactful song because that's a club banger today that they still play in clubs. And if you really want to be technical, that's the first time they started twerking. That's the first time you saw a girl twerk in a video.
You saw twerk.
Maybe. You see, I wasn't down there.
I lived in Atlanta twice.
Okay. I hear that. Okay. But it kind of made the twerk mainstream. You know what I mean? So I think more Back That Ass Up. But then if you want to talk about singles, then we're going against If I Rule the World with Lauryn Hill and Street Dreams. Like those two songs match for match. Just look at that right there. That's that's a strong matchup, you know?
If you really like those two songs, because I know some people that didn't care for Street Dreams because they used the same sample as All Eyes on Me.
That's true. Yeah.
But the song was still dope. And the message being the intro song to the If I Rule the World video, like the message is one of my favorite Nas songs.
True.
What else was a single? The only two singles off that album was If I Rule the World, Street Dreams. They had a Street Dreams remix with R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, and yeah.
But 400 Degreez, Follow Me Now is my shit. Yo, I actually played Follow Me Now more than Hop. That was actually the second video before Back That Ass Up. Back That Ass Up, if I'm not mistaken, was the third single that just happened to go up. Yeah, you don't remember?
I didn't know it had 3 singles on there.
Yeah, Follow Me Now was my shit. And because I think BET did like a behind the scenes video on Follow Me Now before Back That Ass Up came out. I may be wrong, but they did do it behind the scenes for Follow Me Now. Follow Me Now was hard.
True.
Follow Me Now, to me, may have been the best single out of the 3, but of course, Back That Ass Up is the classic.
Yeah, I mean, just to go to 400 Degreez, some of the songs that I like off of there, I'll go to the track list. Let's pull up the track list right here. Outside of Back That Ass Up, I think Back That Ass Up was like my favorite track there, but I do like Flows and Seasons. I like that. I like Run For It. That was like the first time we really was introduced a Lil Wayne. You know what I mean?
Even though Lil Wayne was on the hook of Flossing Season.
A what?
Lil Wayne was on the hook of Flossing Season. That's like the third song on the album.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
as
yeah.
far as like
You're
the
right.
verses,
That's right.
UPT was a Hot Boy song. After UPT was One Four. Yeah,
Yeah.
1 4 was one of the best beats on that album.
That's true. I always been a BG fan. You know, like for whatever reason, like I just love this smooth, like slow style. Like BG always got me interested out of those guys. So Flossing Season is one of my favorites out there. Follow Me Now was tight. You're right about that, man. That definitely was tight. Run For It. Back that ass up. What was the one?
The only song I didn't like on 400 Degreez, I won't say I didn't like, but my least favorite
Yeah.
was Welcome to the North.
Yeah, I didn't off top. See, I've never been a big timers fan, so off top was just kind of okay to me. 400 Degreez was fire. The high
I will
remix.
say this though.
Yeah.
Manny Fresh did make Baby sound better than he did on this album.
Yes.
Baby's one of the worst rappers ever, but he made him sound better on this. It's just like Wupo. Premier made Wupo sound better.
That's true.
Once they
That's
mess with
true.
other producers, they turn trash. Like that's big time for or at least Baby.
That's true.
I was listening to Flossing Season now. It's like, yeah, I'm overlooking Baby's verse because of this beat.
I hear you, yo. I hear that. But yeah, definitely a lot of fire tracks on this album. Definitely deserves its respect as far as some of the classic songs out there. But I just can't get over It Was Written, man. I mean, this track list from The Message to I Gave You Power with the songs on there.
With boxing.
Take It in Blood is underrated.
Sample Cool Key.
Yeah, underrated track. A lot of people don't like Nas Is Coming. I fuck with it. That's kind of that period where Dre was kind of transitioning from like the G-Funk Dre to like the more 2001 Dre, you know, Dr. Dre. And his sound kind of was a little bit different, but I fuck with that song. And of course,
I didn't like it when it first came out, but it grew on.
That's right. That
was the song that I said if it wasn't on here, this album would be done.
That's right, man.
Next song, Affirmative Action. Like I know,
you took the words right out my mouth, man. Affirmative Action, man. I mean, might be one of the greatest posse cuts of all time. I mean, I was a big Cormega guy. Like at one period, I loved Cormega, man. And I don't know how.
Production. Havoc is on here.
Yes.
Twice.
Yeah, Set It Up and then Live Nigga Rap. Oh my God. I mean, that song right there. I mean, that still gets me hyped to this day. Like, and then of course, you know, If I Rule the World, I think If I Rule the World may be arguably Nas's best single. Definitely his top 5 songs ever, you know, in a legendary 30-year plus career. I mean, so I don't know, song quality, just me, I just gotta go with Nas, man. I think Juvie had the better songs that were more impactful for his career because you mentioned High had an original sound to it that kind of took the world by storm. And of course, Back That Ass Up is a club banger of all club bangers. But features, I gotta go. It Was Written. Even though 400 Degreez has Lil Wayne, baby Lil Wayne coming out, BG. I mean, Cash Money in their prime on that album, but I gotta go features. I mean, AZ, Foxy Brown in their prime. I mean, Mobb Deep, Lauryn Hill when Lauryn Hill made music. You know what I mean? Like,
as Darius said, this album was trash.
Yeah.
But Darius, nigga, I hope you watch this in 750. Nigga. You probably call me like you weird ass nigga, loving Nas and shit. Suspect sounds like Illmatic. Would you agree?
What was Suspect on again?
To me, that's probably the only song that sounds Illmatic-ish. Suspect.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. So it does sound like more of a boom bap sound for that on Suspect. So,
But shootouts do too. It's just shootouts are ill ass. And it was an ill ass song. Yeah.
Trackmasters did that one.
But see, that's the thing. This album did age better because it kept being compared to Illmatic. But yeah, you're right. Nas, production wise. Where we at right now? We're on production.
That's the 3 right there. So we got song quality, probably it was written. Artistry, it was written, but I think cultural impact
is 400 Degreez.
400 Degreez. I would say that 400 Degreez. So in the final tally, a lot closer than we thought, but Nas wins 2-1 in this one. But I gotta admit, man, like my first video, when I first heard it, I was like, Juvie's bugging. But when I listened to 400 Degreez and then I really went through it, I was like, you know what? He really does have a little bit of a point. You know what I mean? I do think that 400 Degreez does. And see, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, Anson. I think that what Juvie was really trying to say is, like, 400 Degreez deserves its respect because it's not really mentioned up there with the classics, like the Built for Cuban Link, the Dark as Hell is Hot, like we mentioned. You know, a lot of the East Coast classics. And you would even argue it doesn't get the respect of like a Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music.
Or fact, you said there's 15 albums better than 400 Degreez down south. Let's change it because we agreed too much so far. Please name those 15 albums.
Okay, you want me? All right, I'll go. I don't want to say it's 15, but I'll put it to you like this. I might go 10. How's that?
Oh, now it's 10 all of a sudden. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It moved up on you. It moved up. But I got you. Okay, let's go. I'll go, of course, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music, The Diary, The Fix, Scarface. I would have to go, and I know you did the video on that, and you got that one because 400 Degreez topped it, but I still go Lil Wayne Carter 3. That's just my shit, man. I love that album. I would have to say, what else off the top?
So far, you said Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, The Diary, Fix, and Carter 3. The only one I don't agree with so far.
Okay, so you don't agree Carter 3. What about not Stankonia? What was the other one from Outkast? Oh, Aquemini.
Outkast is cheap though.
Huh?
Every Outkast album sells out of Wild Study.
Not Stankonia though. I'll give you Stankonia. I'll give him that. Okay, I'll put it to you. Okay, here's this. I'll actually surprise you. I think ATLiens, that's the big. I'm not the biggest ATLiens guy.
Why? Because ATLiens is basically an up north down south album.
You think? I gotta re-listen maybe. Cause I always go
like Southern outside of UGK and Lil Brother and anyone affiliated with them, you can't get more boom back than that.
True. UGK, that album. I would probably have to put that over 400 Degreez. Was it Strictly Business? The one that came out in 92.
Either talking 92. You sure you're not
I think it was 92. UGK. You gotta get me up.
You want to put any Lil Brother albums over 400 Degreez?
Now you got me thinking. Minstrel Show?
Or J. Cole?
Minstrel Show? J. Cole album. Let me think.
What I'm listening. As far as J. Cole
album. So you're saying, all right. Because I'm right now,
Forest
I'm
Hills
like
Drive.
seven
Nah,
deep.
I wouldn't put 400 Degreez over Forest Hills Drive.
So
I
Forest
would.
Hills Drive
Little brother.
versus 400
Then again,
Degrees.
I don't know. That's the big. That can go back and forth. The Little Brother album is definitely on top of 100.
You know, Minstrel Show, now you got me thinking. Now, you got me thinking with Minstrel Show.
Yeah, I'll wait until you think of
I
that.
may have to go Forest Hills Drive. That was an impactful ass album. Oh yeah, my bad. It was in '96. I think it was Riding Dirty. UGK.
That's why I was wondering when you said 92, because I think one of the first
Yeah, it was a
albums.
little bit later than that.
Okay.
I'm definitely leaving. Oh, I know one. I know two albums. You may not agree, but Thug Motivation 101 and Jeezy Recession. Definitely, man. That's in my book. I can just see your face.
Some new niggas probably would agree with you.
You don't see it.
Honestly, I can't put the only. So you gotta think about the trap era in the 2000s. Is there any 2000 trap albums I would put over 400 Degreez?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and the 2000s trap albums.
Scarface ain't really a trap. Whoa. I will put a few 3-6 Mafia albums.
I could ride with that. Because that Memphis trap is just different. I like that way better than Atlanta trap, by the way.
I
All
agree
right,
with
I'll put it
that.
to you like this. Okay, what T.I. albums versus 400 Degreez would you put up?
The only one you can debate is Urban Legend.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Put that over 400 Degreez.
I was thinking that. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not the T.I.'s music, just in my opinion. I might be on my own island with this. Didn't age as well as I thought it would. I mean, I listen to Jeezy over I listen to T.I., even though T.I. is way more lyrical than him, just to let you know. But I would maybe agree with you on that, yo.
Better beats. Jeezy did have John Cannon.
That's true. That's true.
That's right there.
I mean, Jeezy's album just went harder than me, but T.I. was an animal in the mid 2000s, bro. Oh my God, he was spitting. So I don't know. But you know what? I might go 400 Degreez over T.I.'s best, man. That's why I'll give you top 10, man. It's top 10 album down south, definitely.
8-Ball MJG probably got 1 or 2 albums better than that also.
Yeah, they were my boys, man. You know what I like, man? I don't know if it tops this, but remember when 8-Ball put out like a triple album? Remember that?
Lost.
Yeah. I love that album, man.
Oh,
like True
that's
Story.
The song I forgot to use. Oh, me and D Double did a Juvenile versus Mystical battle like 2 years ago. And I knew there was one song I forgot. I forgot to play the Mystical song that was on that 8-Ball album. I should have used that. I knew I forgot.
Definitely gotta bring that to beat back up again, man. I gotta re-listen to Lost. Like True Story, True Story. This is when I'm dating myself now, but I used to play football with my homie, and my homie was from North Carolina actually, and I let him borrow that tape, the set, and I asked for it back like 1,000 times. I still ain't got it back. He moved back to North Carolina. He still got it. And he was letting me know the other day. He's like, I still got that 8-Ball MJG, man. I still rock that thing. Tape cassette, mind you. When we put in like, huh?
You know some funny shit? I just thought about this. My worst girlfriend, probably second worst girlfriend, still got my 400 Degreez CD. And I didn't think about that until like a few years later. I was wondering what happened to it. But now that you brought that up, I'm like, wow.
We bringing back memories now. Yeah. It was a great era though, man. I gotta give it to him, man. Like this really, but see, this is what I like. Like I think we need to have more of these debates about that classic era, the late '90s, early 2000s, the classic era, and really match up these albums. And I gotta admit, man, this is a very entertaining battle, man. And it's good that you go back and you re-listen, because I think like over time, like your last memory of the album sticks to you, like, oh yeah, well, that album, that was tough back then, but was it really classic? But then so many years later, and then you hear the influence. You hear, yo, Juvenile didn't have not one flow that sounded the same. Artists, a lot of artists today do that, but didn't do that in the 90s. That's the thing. And that was kind of innovative for his time. And it's something you never think of then. But now it's like, damn, he was really ahead of his time.
Juvenile on fire.
Mm-hmm.
The bitch on the club, like, man, I'm gonna beat my beat. Get my fucking
Yep.
show, and I'm gonna stick on that hole there.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. So anyway, yeah. So Nas takes this 2-1 in a close call.
It's
So
a really
Juvenile,
close,
I got to give you props, Juvenile. You made us put our hip hop hats on, and you made us think a little bit, bro. And you know what? 400 Degrees does deserve a bit more respect. Put some respect on that album. One of the great classics from the South.
You know what would be closer to me? I
What's
think
that?
I Am versus 400 Degrees would be a lot closer.
I Am 400 might win that. Because Nas has some songs on there. Yeah, Nas has some songs on it. All right, I'll put it to you like this. Now, this is cheat code, but if we're talking I Am, the bootleg version that was unreleased, I Am wins. But remember, that's the one with Papa Was a Player and all of that, like that era stuff. But I Am Now, I don't know if that's a classic album. I really don't. I was a big Nas, I'm a Nas head, but I don't know if that album aged as it should have, even though Hate Me Now still gets me hyped. But that's an interesting debate, man. But I don't know. 400 Degrees may take that. As a play for play album, it might be a better play for play as far as song for song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Nas is a cheat code on Facebook, because every time I do a Nas battle, Nas like clearly wins. It was, matter of fact, the battle that me and Darius did, like back in, I want to say 2020, it was written versus Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. I put the polls out on that like years later. It was like 8-2 Nas. Then me and him did he gave me his 10 favorite Jay-Z album. I gave my 10 favorite Nas albums, and we did like a Nas versus Jay-Z album battle. That was like Nas 10. Oh, I'm like, nah. It's somebody, it can't be that clear.
It could no. Nas versus Jay-Z? Nah, that's
I'll give you the round shortly. The last one was Nas versus Ghostface Killer, like the catalog battle from like group albums, solo albums, and even that was Nas 16-4. Like Nas is aging better to where like there's a lot more Nas fans online than I thought.
I think Nas has definitely, with the Hit Boy run the last couple of years, I think Nas has got him into the conversation of the most consistent catalog of all time. You got him, you got Ghostface. I think you got Hove still, even though Hove has taken a hit over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Who else am I leaving out? As far as Scarface, that's another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nas is definitely top 5. At one point we could say Kanye, but he took a dip in the last decade. Same thing with Wayne. If you were going Wayne 90s to like 2009, Wayne was definitely up there. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a great debate, man. Great debate.
Give you those rounds real quick. For that Nas Jay-Z album battle, round 6 was Watch the Throne versus The Firm.
That's Watch
Who
the
would you
Throne.
think is that?
I would give that one to Jay and Kanye.
The Firm edged it.
Really?
Godson versus Hard Not Life.
I would go Hard Knock Life.
Godson beat that, but not clear. King's Disease 3 versus Life and Times of Sean Carter Volume 3.
Oh, that's King's Disease 3. That's easy.
Yeah, KD3 bought that.
That's
American
late.
Gangster versus Magic.
Ooh.
Yes.
Versus Magic 1?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'll give Jay the nod on that.
Magic edged that. Stillmatic versus the Blackout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Can I go tie? I don't know. Maybe Stillmatic.
Yeah, Stillmatic clear. It Was Written versus the Blueprint.
Woo! It Was Written, though. You got to go It Was Written.
444 versus the Lost Tapes 1.
Versus Lost Tapes 1, 444. Lost Tapes.
Yeah. And King Disease 2 versus the Dynasty Rock Lock Million.
Oh, King's Disease 2.
Oh, I forgot. One more round. In My Lifetime Volume 1 versus Life is Good.
I got to think about that now. I would say Life is Good. That's one of my favorite albums, but In My Lifetime Volume 1 did age well. So I don't know. But what rounds did Jay-Z win? I got to know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought Watch the Throne was going to win, but the Firm won that.
What was it? How many? It was 16 rounds?
10 rounds.
10 rounds.
Yeah. He gave me his favorite 10. I gave my favorite 10. My favorite round was Magic versus American Gangster. To me, that could go either way, but Magic edged that.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out a round. I don't know how much they did, but I would say Nas edges Jay-Z probably by like 3 albums. If I was to go album for album or whatever, or by like 3 or 4 rounds, I'll give it to Nas. At one point, people went Jay-Z, but not anymore. Not after the King's Disease series, man, because he just cleaned up on with the Hit Boy series, you know. But you know what? We got to do more of these, man. We definitely got to do more of these. I want to get definitely Reese is gonna get involved in one of them. My next one, I'm thinking I got to get an Eminem one in there. You know, for our page, you know there are a lot of Eminem heads. So.
We got to do an Eminem battle for real, though.
Yeah.
Now, in my group, it was an Eminem versus Black Thought battle. That actually became a tie. But keep in mind, the dude that was Eminem, he wasn't necessarily playing the best M songs. He was playing like some of the most lyrical songs.
Yeah.
I was also playing some of the most lyrical Black Thought songs. I didn't play Clones just because we was focusing more on lyrics. But if you want to do
the next album battle, we gotta get Eminem involved. We gotta do one of his best 3. I don't know who the competitor is yet, but I think that's the next one. I definitely want to get
a 3-album run battle.
Good one.
Think if you was like Eminem's first 3 albums, Infinite not included, of course, you think that would make sense versus Kanye's first 3?
Oh, that's a good one. But I think I would go Kanye on that. I would probably go Kanye.
Busta Rhymes' first 3.
Well, hold on a minute. We're talking.
You have heard Eminem and Busta Rhymes comparisons a lot.
Busta Rhymes' first 3, that would be a good one too. I would probably go M on that. But Kanye's, I would probably go. So we're talking Late Registration, and we're talking Graduation.
College Dropout was the first one.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. Well, College Dropout, I think, beats. Are we counting Infinite, or are we just going right to Marshall Mathers?
No, just
or Slim Shady?
Aftermath album.
Okay. College Dropout, Slim Shady, College Dropout. I think Eminem takes the second one.
Wait, you put Marshall Mathers over Late Registration? I don't know about that.
Yeah. I'm thinking Eminem Show. Eminem Show beats Graduation. I know that. But that middle battle, I gotta get Reese on here. He's more of the Eminem head than I am. But that's a good one. That might be the battle. Kanye versus Eminem. I don't know.
Marshall Mathers versus Late Registration.
Mm.
And you say Marshall Mathers? Kanye. I don't know about that.
Marshall Mathers is a weird album because it's a classic. It's like one of those To Pimp a Butterfly albums. Like at the time, it was so ahead of its time because of some of the imagery and the dark context of that album that it sucked people in. You know what I mean? But I don't know. This is like we could talk all night, man. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining me, bro. Huh?
I gotta think about that some more. You want to do that?
Yeah, we'll think about it. We gotta think about our next battle. We gotta get some more people.
Yeah, save that, and we'll see. We discuss that later.
Yeah, but that's a good one.
Early next year.
That's a good one.
Of battles I still got set up that ain't started yet. I'm waiting for D Double. We supposed to do Missy Elliott versus Nicki Minaj. It's supposed to be the second one.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plug your page real quick once again.
www.youtube.com/, BLG, aka Bootleg Gang. You can also find BLG, aka Bootleg Gang, on Facebook groups also at IOENO Ansem. I don't even know. For those who know me, they used to rap. You can Google Short Bus Slum, Mr. T's Revenge anywhere. That's the only album with some type of distribution that you'll see me on. Other than that, shout out to D Double, shout out to Sean P, shout out to Maurice. So I know, Maurice, you wanted to do a Carter 4 versus Carter 5 battle. I don't know why you think Carter 4 is out. That's another story.
Why did he want to do that?
Anthony, shout out to Anthony, young dude who be debating about that loves to debate old school music versus new school music. Shout out to you. He wants to.
We got to get him on.
Redman versus Jesus.
Yeah, he hates Redman, so we gotta get a Redman debate for him, definitely, or Eminem.
No,
he hates Eminem.
Redman versus Jeezy battle. He's serious. So yeah, I'm gonna wash it with Redman.
Oh yeah, we gotta start that, man. But yeah, thanks for joining again, man. And this hopefully this is not the last time. We definitely gotta start a run on here. It Was Written takes the first album battle, and we will have more. Once again, check out Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews on Facebook and also the YouTube channel. Let us know what you think in the comments. 400 Degreez, It Was Written. Let us know what you think in the comments, and definitely we'll be back soon with some new content coming up. Definitely. So y'all, thanks for joining us. Yeah. So definitely thanks for joining us, and y'all have a good night. All right. Peace.